Assalamualaikum, my family. I hope you all are fine. So today's session is going to be all about narrative writing, Olevels English double one two three. A fresh content, a fresh session where we're going to start from the beginning till the end. We'll be learning a lot of things, and let's just start it, right? So the first thing is I want to recall first of all that what is a narrative writing? Who is yes? Tell me please, what is narrative writing? Yes, dear, you can speak up and tell me what is a narrative writing
Yes, so basically, narrative writing is when the examiner has given us a prompt, and we usually include that prompt in our writing while
in a
completing
writing
the piece.
by telling a story. Basically, it's a story based on specific moment or an experience, right? Okay, yesterday even I was teaching the same topic to my students, narrative writing, and I've given almost like 5 to 6 prompts. I have given them chance to choose any one of them. So what they did a major mistake. They picked up a prompt and then they turned that specific prompt into a descriptive writing. Rather than adding a story element into it, they all added a descriptive element, like they enriched that specific prompt with vocabulary, but there was very less of the plot. I mean, the plot was quite weak. So we should not deviate ourselves by, focusing on the story plot, which is a must to the thing. And now, let me tell you before beginning that there are some things the examiner does not want, something which he don't want us to write, and those are, I'm just putting a clear cross in with the red pen. These things should not be done. Please don't turn your stories into fairy tales. We don't need that. There shouldn't be any fantasy adventures which you have to make. There shouldn't be any over dramatic hero stories in it, right? There shouldn't be any moral essays like, and I learned a lesson. We don't want any moral essays, whatever you've learned a lesson. It should be just a story. So let me just tell you what examiner wants from now in the green, with the green pen, right? Something which is acceptable. These are the things which the examiner wants. I'm sure that my screen is pretty clear to you all. It is a realistic situation which the examiner wants us to create. It is a clear beginning. You can also write it with me so you can make notes. Clear beginning is the first thing. Then there should be a problem which should be discussed right away. I mean, you have to trigger your audience. Then you have to give a climax. Climax of the problem, you have to add a solution. And then you have to go towards the ending. But that all needs a smooth transition as well. As I already discussed in my previous narratives, that it should be show, not tell. So there should be feelings added into it. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. So there should be feelings added into it and also the thoughts, right? And the last but not the least, show, not tell. Okay. So now something which I'm going to tell you how do they mark. That is something very important, the marking of the Cambridge. I want to share each and everything with you step by step, and then I'm going to share a story prompt, and then you'll be writing on it. So the first thing is how Cambridge examiner marks it, which we need to discuss as must. Okay. So you are marked on two things. What are those? First is your content. Oops, sorry. Your content and structure. And the second thing is your style and accuracy or Your grammar, will be checked in that too, right? So this is how. Okay, now content and structure. Let's suppose if we have 10 marks for it and 15 marks for this too, because this specific question carries 25 marks in total. We all know this. So, content and structure. What are the things which are added in the content and structure? The examiner always checks these things before, marking. Is it relevant to the topic? The very first thing, is it relevant to the topic? Is it logical? Is there any logical in it? Logic in it? Or if the logic is there, if the relevancy is there, then is there a climax the student is explaining or not? And after reading all of it, is the ending satisfying or not? So these are the things which we need to keep in our mind before writing a better one. Okay. Moving on towards the style and accuracy. What do they actually check? Okay, so these are the things they check. Vocabulary, as we know, it should be a better vocabulary which we have to add. It should be a sentence variety. Every student has one sentence style and they follow that and they try not to break it. But I would really request you, please bring variety in your sentences. For that, you have to invest your time in reading. Punctuation should be there. Full stop, comma, exclamation mark, inverted commas, hyphenated sentences. Then there is tense control. What kind of tenses are you using? Are you breaking it? Or if the story is something which is done already in the past, you're using the past. But there are some sentences which requires the present tense too. So, and sometimes you have to predict something as like a future. So, are you having a perfect tense control in it or not? Right? And then there is a descriptive skill in a story. But it should be just a descriptive skill in a story, not at all the one which where you will, all move on towards the descriptive part, right? All right. Now moving on towards the most important thing, that is, in just a jiffy, I'm going to tell you that a simple story, in a nutshell, I must say, with good English, be getting will be getting high marks, but if you are writing a dramatic story, your story is quite dramatic, but with bad sentences, with bad grammatical, there's so many grammatical errors, then you will be getting low marks. Please note that you have to focus on your better vocabulary, sentence structure. There shouldn't be any grammatical mistakes at this point of time, right? Now, okay, till here it's clear, dear.
Yes.
What is the narrative? What does the examiner don't want? What he wants actually? We have discussed the marking criteria. Now, telling you the perfect structure. What is a perfect structure? We have to follow the formula. This one formula I'm telling you, and you have to follow this so as to segregate it in a proper manner, right? So let me tell you according to the paragraphs. Okay, the paragraph one. So you have to do the calm beginning. It could be a cliffhanger which you can use. It could be a hook kind of sentences you can use, but it should be calm beginning depending on 5 to 6 lines, right? So in which you have to, in this beginning, you have to set time, plus you have to talk about the place, plus you have to talk about the mood, or, you know, you can start with the cam action as well. You can start with any action as well, because it's a narrative. So but do not start directly with the action. But then it's like something which you're like after the first line you can start your action, but there should be a first line where you're setting a time, or you are at some place, or you are in a mood, mood to discuss about something. So directly action is perfect to start the narrative with, but like after the first line. Got it? It's something like
Yes.
you are opening a camera shot. Let's suppose you're opening a camera shot. So, what you want the examiner to watch or see, that should be your opening, and that should be the best opening, right? Then comes your paragraph number two, where you have to create a trigger. It's going to be a trigger, which I was already talking about. I thought to add it. Something here, I'm just going to talk about one thing, and that is something unusual begins. Just something unusual begins in the paragraph number two, which you will be discussing about, right? You will be adding as a story in it, right? Moving on towards the paragraph three. Here, your tension will rise. Your rising tension, where you will create some confusion, some or maybe a lot of confusion. Maybe there's fear. Maybe the pressure actually builds in this specific where you have to occupy 10 to 15 again lines. But that depends how you segregate the word limit, right? Because then you have to divide the word limit in an appropriate manner. Okay, and after that, you have to add the paragraph number four, and that is going to be your climax. Climax, which is something most important, dear, right? So the paragraph number four is where the climax is going to be discussed, and here it is the peak moment will be discussed. Mixed feelings. Maybe there's a shock. Maybe there's any discovery going on. Maybe there's any. Okay, the peak moment where you have to add the shock. Either it could be a discovery or a decision, right? So, moving on towards the paragraph number five, in this, you have to talk about the resolution. It should be short and soft ending. There, it should be about what changed and what did you feel, right? But whereas I would really suggest you to never write that I learned a lesson, because this should not be the actual thing in the narrative writings. In narrative writings, we never write such things like I learned a lesson. This should not be the question you have to write or sentence you have to write, right? Okay. Now moving on towards some important things to show you as well. I'm going to definitely show you how to attempt it. What are the steps? There are three steps which I'm going to show you. Before that, there are some some rules which I want to give you. Just a minute. And I'm sure whatever I'm sharing will be very beneficial for you. Now let's discuss the Cambridge Examiner golden rules. These are some golden rules which are going to help you, and I'm going to do the do's and don'ts. These are the do's, and then I will be writing the don'ts, which you have to take the picture of, and you have to strictly follow it. Okay. Now let's discuss first you want to discuss the don'ts or do's. Tell me your choice.
The don'ts.
The don'ts. Okay, let's discuss the don'ts first. Never do this. The students do this mistake. They start with 1 day. This is wrong. They end with, and I will never forget it. Please don't write it. They add too many characters that the major or minor characters get somewhere else or lost in the story, especially the major characters. Change the place suddenly. This is something quite abrupt, and students do it and then they lose marks. If you are at one place, you need to take your story at one place. But if you're moving towards the next place, it should be a smooth transition towards that, describing each and everything in the narrative. And then the students who write the dialogues in the stories. I am not at all. I'll never ever convince you or persuade you to write the dialogues in the story. Writing a dialogue like a drama script, please don't do it. Okay? These are the things which are must be avoided and which should not be done in your exams. But now just discuss the do's which you already know. And those are, the first thing is use sensory detail. And you all know in the narrative it's like sound, smell, silence, touch, light, feel, whatever. It's you have to add the sensory detail. Then focus on one event only. Okay, you have to focus on one event only. Please write realistically. There should be a real effect which should be added into it. You have to use the past tense because it's a story. Something which is gone, it's happened with you already. They will be giving you the prompts of the past tense probably, so you have to follow that. Use first person. Why I'm saying, you students always ask me, can we write in third person? Please don't. It is the safest, most choice when they write in the first person, right? Because then they can easily keep their stories in such a smooth manner. They can write it, end it, and it is going to be understandable as well. These were some do's and don'ts which I have to discuss. Now, there are three steps which I want to discuss, and those are: step one, step two, and step three will also be on the same page, which you need to see. Okay, now let's discuss the step one. Step one is you have to underline the keywords in question, right? This is your step one, my dear students. You cannot at all waste this step and directly jump towards, thinking about what to write in the story. Please underline the keywords in the question. For example, if it's given, write about a time you were lost. It's, you have to write about a time when you were lost. So you have to write about these important things, and these are: first, you have to write about a confusion you have to create in it. There should be a fear which you have faced already when you were lost. And towards the end, you were finding a direction because you were lost. So it's going to be in a proper, structured manner. How were you lost? What you did? There should be a confusion first where you got to know you were lost. Then you started getting afraid. And it's truly not about that you have to show some panic in the story, not about panic. You don't have to show about friendship, which the students usually do. They deviate their path. They say, I found a friend, he helped me. I was very happy to see him. And then my last life starts in a happy. I got back to home. I eat some samosas. It was Ramadan time. Oh my God, the story is totally, takes a very bad turn that they deviate themselves. So, It's not about panic, it's not about friendship, and it's even not about moral. So it's just about that you were lost. How was your experience being lost? What you did, what you have faced? It should be that in a story, So this is how it is. The step one is just this. Step two is, this is my step two, but it could be your step two as well if you like it. But I want my students to follow this step two. Write 5 bullet points. Write the story, is basically write the story in 5 bullets. Okay, write the story in 5 bullets. Don't say points because then you'll get confused. Write in 5 bullets. Okay. So what are those 5 bullets? First is beginning. We have to, as must, create beginning. Then we have to trigger, create a trigger, there. Just a single thing we have to throw. Then a problem. Then there is a climax where the problem is being resolved. Then coming towards the ending, right? So these are the 5 bullets you have to focus on. Last, step three is 350, 300 to 350 words, or 350 to 450 words are perfect.
Miss,
Yes.
what about following the narrative arc?
Yes, you can follow the negative narrative art as well. I'm gonna tell you and give you the exact, narrative sentences, the high scoring sentences as well. Let me tell you, there are some I have made for you. I'll give you that too. First, I'm gonna give you the examiner approved vocabulary style, which you have to follow. Let's suppose, there are some words which are quite weak. These are the words which are quite weak, and now I'm going to give you the strong words. Let's suppose if I'll give you this word very scared. How can you turn it into the strongest one?
Timid,
Huh?
timid,
Timid, okay. Or a surge of panic, right? It's going to be strong when you're talking about a surge of panic in it. Timid is also fine. Frightened is fine, but this is not the switch of vocabulary I'm talking about. I'm talking about you don't have to make your vocabulary weak. Let's suppose I say the place was very quiet. The students used to write this, but they don't have to write. They have to write it was an unsettling silence prevailed all over. Right? These are the words which we usually, write and we get marks. Then there is, oh, the students usually write this. It was completely dark. It was very dark. No. What can we write instead? The place was dimly lit, right? And there are others as well. You can use other strong expressions as well, but there are some which I'm giving you right now. I was happy. That's going to be relief washed over me, right? And the last one is just giving you an example. I ran fast. You can do it. I sprinted instinctively, right? This is how you can make it strong. Now there are some, sentences, must to use narrative sentences. You can memorize these, work in many topics. The opening lines for these are this one. The air felt unusually still that afternoon. At first, nothing seemed out of place, right? Then it began like any ordinary day. I had no idea the next few minutes would change everything. A strange feeling settled in my mind. These are the opening lines which I'm giving you. You can definitely follow these, okay? Then sometimes you have to build attention. So these are the lines which you can definitely, write. Pause my video, write it. Something didn't feel right. My heart began to pound. I froze for a moment. The silence was disturbing. A wave of unease crept over me. Then, this one was nice. The climax. Then it happened. Before I could react, time seemed to stop. I held my breath. In that instant, panic took over. And then your some ending lines, which are very, very important. Gradually, everything returned to normal. This shows, everything settled down. Only then did I realize what had truly happened. Maybe you were, quite perplexed in the entire story and you have realized at the end. The memory still lingers in my mind. This is such a very nice ending, sentence. I walked away still shaken but relieved. Maybe you got a sigh of relief here. Some experience stay with you quietly. Now, there is a biggest secret to A-star narrative are examiners love emotions more than actions. I ran, shouted, fought, jumped, escaped. Bad one and wrong. The good one is my mind struggled to process what I was seeing. This is how you will get marks, right? So there's a final golden tip is that your story should feel like a real memory, not a movie plot. Got it? So this was all from my side till now. I'm dropping a story prompt question from 1123 O-Levels English exam paper, and I would want you to write the story now. But in the ending of the session, I hope this was quite useful for you. You can pause my video, watch it before. Wherever there was any ambiguity, you can drop it in the comment section below and let me know. So this was all from my side. Please write down the stories. Let me just give you a story prompt as well, on which you can write a story and you can share your stories with me in the email, as you already do. Okay, so write about a time you were embarrassed. So this is a story prompt from my side. You have to, add the feelings of embarrassment in it. No friendship, not sports match, not school day. It's going to be a time you were embarrassed, right? So understand the focus word, and your story must revolve around the feelings of embarrassment, please. So this was all from my side. I hope this was a useful session. Ending up, stay tuned. Allah